Paul and Shane both on the phone.
Okay, Paul and Shane, both there?
We're recording.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you, let's get started. Morning. Let's call me a little bit. Call the meeting to order. Of course, the review and approve bills paid since last approval are up now. I thought it'd be minutes, that's okay. So David's financials are up.
Already?
No, the minutes.
I was gonna say, did I listen?
The minutes are up top.
Oh, excuse me. Call meeting to order review. I wanted to hurry this meeting along.
Yeah.
Any additions, changes, or things that we need to correct on the minutes? Okay, make a motion to approve. The motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, now, David.
Just approve it.
Sure. Radar.
This list is the list of checks written since our last meeting. Just a couple I'll point out to you. We paid Kent's Lake Reservoir for the water stock assessment for $4,600.
Is that an ongoing bill?
That's an annual bill.
4,600? Okay.
Well, it depends on what they assess each year, but this year it was 4,006.
Okay.
Paid for a fuel dump of 4,800. We received, pardon me?
All these deposits right here.
That's what we like, deposits.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are deposits on that side. We received the annual water lease from the yard lease, and we paid the people in Delta what we agreed to pay them, the $2,500.
Christensen and Waddingham's, still?
I don't know.
Christensen?
It's that family.
Yeah.
Joyce Barney, that was the one we worked with, and LLC.
It's a kid now.
It's been a while that we have banks,
Right.
we were leasing out, so we split it 50-50 with lease. But they also pay the filing fee for the temporary change application, $250 towards the return fees, that's the kind of agreement we signed last time.
Okay, yeah.
So with that transaction, we split it with those folks. We keep $2,500 and they get $2,500. Other than that, the expense. There's a Sunrise Engineering. They submitted a claim for engineering on the main project, and that was paid $12,000. Obviously, that comes out of the escrow fund.
Yeah.
And the other things on there are just our wages and maintenance items.
Okay.
The second page shows accounts payable of $2,900. And Brandon, I'm not sure what what that was all about.
RDO is Honan Equipment. Honan Equipment was bought out by RDO,
Oh, okay.
and so we had to have them come do some work on the backhoe and the loader, so that's what that is.
So then you, in addition to the accounts payable, you can see the balances in our various checking accounts at this point. And then I've listed the receivables of all of the ones that I identified that owe us more than $1,000. I've listed individually, and then other owners down at the bottom, 7,400. So we have currently outstanding accounts receivable of $6,800. $63,000.
Did Stonewood ever pay anything?
Well, they paid that $3,000 when they got,
Yeah.
when we had the leak and their water was turned off, they thought it was because they hadn't paid, they paid it
Turn their
back.
water off again, will you?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a problem with Stonewood.
Well, Stonewood still owes $11,000.
Okay.
So are there any questions or comments about any of that?
Rich?
Going back up to Bryce, $30,000?
Over here?
To who?
Bryce Anderson, up more.
That's a
Oh, yeah.
deposit.
Oh, deposit.
That's a deposit, and the reason his name appears on one of the items on the deposit was from Bryce. They, bought some fuel from they were low on fuel and it was snowing and it was kind of an emergency for them, so they bought some fuel from us for about $400. The rest of the balance of the deposit came from other owners.
That's what I was wondering too, I'm like, wait, he had to do that.
Yeah.
That makes sense now.
Just curious, was that a large number?
Yeah, I didn't even see Bryce's name on.
Yeah, that's not all his.
Okay. Back to the other page. Would you like me to try and go to find density again?
Yeah,
Okay.
be worth a try, yeah.
I found out where his office is.
I'll move to approve these financials as presented by
I'll,
Dave.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Assessment area, DEQ CID update. Brandon, what's going on? Are we gonna get ready to dig again?
As of right now, there's no real update, we're just kind of waiting on weather,
Yeah.
so we can start back at it.
Okay. Okay. Next on the agenda, well,
On the assessment area, we're working on a bill we're gonna send out, so they're 15 years, but almost everyone opted to go that instead of paying it off.
oh, yeah,
So we're sending out a bill right away, and then it's due on May 1st. And then our first payment on the bond is due a year from May. So that gives us a year to try to collect all the money from all the people.
yeah.
Assessments approximately $2,000 a year that each.
That's
bond
the
owner will have to
West
pay.
Village thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Down the bottom.
The total assessment is $26,500, and so it comes out to about $2,000 a year for 15 years.
Okay.
So we'll be like a year behind, or in front, to
Yeah.
try to collect the money, so we have the money for the bond payment, which
Sure.
is about $135,000 a year that we have to pay.
Yeah.
We have more bonds that are paid off, so we have that money in our account, and it's.
They paid the 15,
Yeah, so we're trying to work it all out.
so you said how much is the total, 126? That they have to pay every year?
It's about $135,000 is what the payment is every year. It's what, 1.97% interest that we're paying, and we're also charging them.
Well, 60,000 helps us though, the one who paid it off.
Right, it's about, 100,000 that we should have in our bank account that we're,
Yeah.
trying to manage, so we have the payment available each year.
Okay. How often are you gonna bill them, just once a year?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I have one other thing I'd like to bring up right now. Last year, the board elected not to, pay the association fee for Utah Association of Special Districts. And I don't know why they didn't drop us, but they sent us another bill for this year, for the coming year, but based on based on what our budget is, we would end up having to pay them $7,000 just to be part of the association. So I assume that the board would elect not to join again.
It really hasn't been very beneficial over the years.
I don't know what benefit we
The
get.
benefit is you're in with a group, is pretty much what it is.
They monitor the activity in the legislature, and we get
Right.
emails on that and all throughout the legislative session. But other than that, I don't know what the benefit is.
I'm of the opinion we don't do it again. Unless if you're feeling flush over there and got plenty of money.
I don't want to pay.
That's just my suggestion. Anybody want to make a motion on that?
I think if we,
You already did it, didn't you, last time?
we didn't do it.
No.
Well, we didn't do it last year.
You're right.
So,
Was the motion limited to last year? The motion was not limited, was it? The motion was we're no longer,
Well, why don't we check it out and let them know?
I think if we
Send a letter.
maintain membership with the Rural Water Association, that would be
Yes.
sufficient.
For us, it's more specific,
Yeah.
for sure.
What do you think, Brandon?
I've never used the other one. I've used rural water multiple times, so I don't even know what the other one does for us.
It's what they said, that they monitor legislation and things like that, and then they give you suggestions that other districts are doing. We're a little bit different districts, the front of the mountain.
Yeah.
They're all in municipalities, most of them, a few in service districts, you know. For instance, in Alpine is a service district, but what it ended up being was the farmers don't know water rights, you know, that sort of thing. So I don't know, I don't think rural water's fine, wouldn't you say that? Okay.
I'll add a comment real quick. Megan Brasham, next on the agenda with Rich. Depending on how the rural project is gonna go for the transportation, having a coalition like that, if they're also rural and also need transportation, it would be a good way to get more funding into those areas to really improve those roads. So I don't know too much about what the association actually looks like. I'm also not encouraging you to join it if you guys don't find it useful. And it would take some more outreach and relationship building with those groups to see if they needed that type of work done.
You talking about other service districts?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You could all apply kind of as a coalition to get the infrastructure, the roads and stuff you
They've
needed
never
done.
offered much of anything to us in that regard that I know of, but I didn't know that.
It could be something we could explore,
Yeah.
essentially.
Okay. Well, at this point, let's leave it the way it was, and I'll put that down and see if we can, I know a couple of guys up there in that Utah County that are on those boards. See what I can find out. Service districts aren't very prevalent up north, but they are in like Beaver City and places like that. Okay? Megan?
You're up.
Didn't think we'd get to you, did you? We just kept going around. I got
No,
one
it's
thing.
interesting. I'm glad I'm getting to hear it all.
Well, so from last month, we talked about it, and I knew that the money was an issue with some people, and we kind of negotiated that down a bit. So we went from that scale that everybody got, we went from 45 per month to 4. But they'll hold that 4 for 12 months, where after 6 months, it was gonna jump up to 5,100. So there is a savings there. I asked Megan how many pages, she says we're probably in that higher range, 3750. Some of this other add-on stuff, she said we didn't need.
There's some line items at the bottom for the expenses that are mostly related to, clients who wanna write their own grants and just kind of have us come in on the back end and do editing or attachments or anything like that. So, that's kind of an option as well, is you guys carry the grant as far as possible, and then we come in on the back end and kind of do the submittal and all of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And, I know you guys got invited by Rep. Malloy to participate in the community projects for transportation, which is really nice. And I think that it would be a great fit to get part of the project done. So for these community projects, they really like to help push projects that are going to better the community along. So not necessarily whole projects, but 30% of a project or 40% of a project to kind of just get you hopefully across that finish line. For this project, doing the water would definitely add to that larger rural transportation grant, mostly because there's certain expectations that you have to have in order to qualify to apply. Some of the things that we don't do that you would have to do are engineering reports, city plans. You know, we're not engineers. We try our best. We can look at it and stuff, but that's not exactly our expertise. And I know that you guys have a lot of that done already. So in order to apply for the bigger rural transportation grant, we would basically leverage every single dollar that you put into any sort of project that would improve the roads as a match for that project. So again, the engineering reports, city plans, any work that Brandon's done, you know, all of that would be leveraged as a match, which would, is required and would also make it more appealing for us to get chosen.
Yeah, but one question for you, the Malloy thing is an 80-20, split.
Yeah, so, and that's kind of a question for you guys too, just like ballpark in your head, if we were going for, Rich kind of said a $3 million range, do you guys think you would have like 20% of that? And again, we get to be creative and kind of put the matches together as we see fit. So do you have that like 20%?
We're talking like 30 million.
No, that's for the paving,
Yes.
the water.
Oh,
the
is this what we're
water.
talking about, the water lines that need to be fixed?
There's two different grants.
Yeah.
There's the community grant, which somebody gave me a copy of, which will cover the water system. They'll write that for free if we become their customer,
Every year you get a free community project, sometimes two, depending on what what your needs are. So that's part of the services. Our clients get chosen every year. You know, one or two projects get selected every year. Right now, they're not doing community projects as much. That's some of the funding that's actually being cut, is those community projects, but not for transportation. Luckily, it's mostly education and labor and health, but a lot of money is going to transportation right now, actually.
So the money that we spent on the water system, that loan, those are our matching funds. So we're out of pocket nothing. If we show that here we've already put this much money out there, they contribute that to that match.
Well, I think the biggest issue on the point right now in this kind of a project is we gotta get those pipes that are messed up that would cause us all this problem this winter. The village, we gotta change.
And those aren't part of this other project.
No, no.
Right.
I think, Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong, but what happens is we put in a new pipe and it's all scheduled, whatever it is, and as soon as we throw that pressure down the line,
All the
those
old stuff
PVC
blowing up.
pipes that were put in the 70s just blow apart. Totally.
They were closer to the surface, they looked like the Bellagio fountains up there. So,
Then they froze. Yeah, and that's the thing I think we're talking about, that's a big need for us. That's something that we should, if we can work it, if we've already got that much invested in it, you know.
And so the community project that you guys were invited from Rep. Malloy would again be kind of used as that leverage, more match that $3 million and taken out of that $30 million or whatever to get the road, to get to a better place to actually fix the road. Okay, and that's a reasonable, there's no limit on community projects. Whatever you guys think is reasonable and need is what we request. You don't always get funded for that amount. I would say our last transportation in urban development, we requested 1.2 and we got funded for 550. And again, it's just about the outreach that we do, and you guys already have great relationships with a lot of the people that we would need to help kind of boost the project up and get it moving through the proper committees.
Did you lobby with Representative Malloy, or?
Never met her, but we do, most of our clients are in California and Puerto Rico. So we usually, that's who Representative Swalwell, Padilla, Butler, so those are who we work with now. But we will start to leverage your guys' relationships and build those to kind of help us move the project so that I'm sure they want to fund it too. You know, all of our interests align to make the community safer, make it better for people to live in, improve the economy. So, I think it's a justifiable project and a well-worthy project.
Well, and the major thing we're worried about is the money. There's no way we can generate $6 million in services here.
Exactly. There's a high need, very high need.
Yeah. So, is that the ballpark we're gonna be in, same thing? 80-20? If we,
Yeah, yes, there is a match. And again, it's leveraging every single dollar that you put towards the project already. So it's trying to put as little money extra into it so that you guys don't have any extra funds, except for engineering reports or anything that you still have left out like that.
what were we total on the two projects we did? One was 8 and one wasn't it?
I would have to go back and look at
Seems
it.
to me like it was like 7 million, 4.0 and.
Dave could probably answer that one.
5 and 6 and 7.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm trying to remember here, okay.
They're closer to 6 maybe.
Yeah.
And just so you guys know, these community projects come around every year. The deadline for the community project last year was March 31st. They haven't released anything yet, so we're thinking the deadline will probably be sometime in mid-April.
So these are federal grants.
Yeah, and so the community project is a lot less restrictions. We get to decide how we report, we get to decide on what the project is, there's no formal restrictions. Versus the rural infrastructure project, there's very stringent restrictions and things that have to be done in order to apply. My firm has written these grants before. We were successful with one of them. The first grant we were successful because they wrote themselves and they didn't follow our advocacy. And just a little bit more about the firm. We've only lost one client. We lost that client because they took a lower, they went with a lower company who does state advocacy and federal advocacy. So they're getting kind of a 2-for-1 deal. We only do federal advocacy. Our success rate is about 85% right now. In the past few years, it's gone up to 95%. And usually for grant writers, it's only about 30%. So we're very successful in our federal grant writing.
Rich, you were saying because we spent the $6 million already on other things that could be.
That gets contributed to
That
that
could be
matching
contributed to
fund.
the match?
Yes.
So we got no out of pocket there
Okay.
to show what was spent. And they like to see what it takes to finish a project. Since you guys started a water project,
Yeah.
you can say this is the tail end to finish it.
Yeah.
And it makes it more appealing to them to get.
Makes it more appealing to us too, because we don't have to come up with cash.
Yeah.
We have more projects are going on in the county currently that are funded outside.
You want like grant projects? How many
Just,
grants?
You know,
There's probably 30 grants out right now,
really.
yeah, in the county.
Did you guys decide who gets what?
Yep.
How do you feel about us?
Well, I think the service station need this done like ASAP, for sure.
Okay.
It should be top priority.
Because at the end of the day, it's gonna land on the commission's desk to say yea or nay,
Yeah.
so.
Oh, yeah, everyone's on board with it already.
Well,
We've had discussions, we actually had a meeting, all three of us, with, Connor Myers, who works with Celeste Malloy in their office just about 2 weeks ago. So everyone's well aware of this project in this area here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that $4 million, was a project that we determined was gonna benefit the whole service district. The other $1.7 million was a project that only benefited the lot owners that were gonna get water to their lots.
That's
So we're assessing those lots individually, so whatever this new project is, we have to do an analysis, because we
Right.
know that we've had all the people out there in the audience sitting there and saying, why do I have to pay for this? And so we have to analyze that project and see who it's gonna benefit. And if we're gonna be paying money out of our budget for it, we have to decide where that money is coming from. If the benefit is only a certain group within the service district, then we have to decide if we're gonna develop that money by an assessment area like we're doing at the lot owners, or whether we're going to say this is benefiting the whole service district as a whole,
Sure.
and then we're gonna assess the whole, and then we're gonna just add it to fees or something like
Those
that.
down there would have to participate in the road as well, the ones in the project now.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm not sure, you know, I'm just the attorney, I'm not sure what the project is, I'm
Yeah.
just telling
Well,
you,
yeah, how it
we
works,
have
how
to
it works,
analyze who's getting the benefit
Sure.
and who's gonna pay for it,
Um,
because we have
I
to
did some
somehow
math,
come up with
I did some math, and everybody on the mountain, if we got $30 million, it's $16,000 a person. That's a lot of money. And I don't know that a lot of people are willing to do that if we can't get it for free.
I don't think anybody's ready to stomach another assessment.
Oh, come on, we don't, your assessment you got now is peanuts compared to this.
That's why I've tried to see how much free stuff we can get,
Oh, yeah, sure.
you know, without
That's what we're all
having
looking for,
to.
isn't it, Wade?
Yeah, I mean, there's money out there, and the county's never really taken advantage of the federal grants at all, so this will be our really first ask, so we'll probably get approved, so.
Yeah, our clients, you know, can sometimes,
Well, can we still shop between the two of them? Or we have to pick somebody? Some point.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know, Celeste here, I'm not Celeste, listen to me, Megan's here telling us what's going on.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because you've been in those meetings, what's going on with the state, what the ramifications are. As a board, I think we need to have some kind of after we talk to her and know what's going on.
Yeah.
But I think to answer
But it
Dale's
sounds similar.
question, who's it gonna help? I think if you ask anybody on that mountain,
You're gonna help everyone.
they'd put their hand up.
Yeah.
Because
Well, they don't put their hand up,
Well-
they're sitting out here in the audience, they don't put their
No,
hand up.
but I know that
Well, it comes across,
that is
you know,
unfortunate.
if it's free.
Free they do, yeah.
You guys all know what the,
Oh, yeah, we know.
from the audience, they don't do it, we had to really justify the big project. We said, obviously, the water tank's gonna benefit everyone, and the, you know, the distribution line coming from the springs is gonna benefit everyone.
Yeah.
In hindsight, we didn't know it was gonna blow everything else up.
Everyone.
Well, with,
So everybody would benefit.
logistically, doing it the way we're talking about doing it either way is the only way we can do it.
I guess we need to decide, what we're asking is if we have Megan represent, right, and that's what we're kind of debating today.
Yeah.
What's your cost again? Is it every month?
4,000 per month.
Or every month?
Mm-hmm.
48,000, but
What's the contract? 2 years?
Yearly.
Yearly.
Mm-hmm. And then if you wanna negotiate 2 years, we could definitely negotiate 2 years.
So it's a year contract?
Mm-hmm.
But, let's take this, and I think I'm not speaking out of turn. If we get the project, we can pay some of those funds back with the money from the project, can't we?
We do grant management for our clients as well, that's one of the other services we provide. And so we would build that into the contract, yes.
So at that point, when we get that, then we pay
And that's
that.
an additional cost.
And we're finished with
The
that.
grant would be an additional, like $20,000 to $30,000. And so most clients can 100x their money in the first year, depending on the type of grant you're willing to go for. So this is a $30 million grant, so obviously you guys would 100x your money, you know. It's a little bit different for you guys because it would be going mostly to fix the roads. Sometimes for our clients, you know, it's personnel, it's back-end help. So, and then other grants that you guys would be interested in that could help the county, you know, for years to come.
And I'm thinking too, if, you know, we're creating this grant, we could put in maintenance and things like that also.
At least during that project
Construction
period.
period.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
So that's money we save
We're talking
also.
about roads and water, right?
Well, they're two different things. The community is the water side, the other one is the asphalt is the.
And the water side won't be nearly as big as the road side.
Right.
It'll be like the curb and gutters.
But we did, like I say, you sign up for the big one, you get the little one for free from her company.
Each year you get a free community project.
What's that?
Each year it's the freeze movement. Oh,
Yeah, sure, Shane wants to ask a couple questions.
oh, hi.
Hi, everyone. Well, the first is, where is the $30 million coming from? Is that to pave every road at Eagle Point, including all of the west roads, like the Grizzly Ridge?
Yes, it's to pave every road that's gravel now. And I've got the map here, and we have, 4.75 miles of road.
Okay.
And I've got a map here, Shane, it doesn't show the road up to your lodge and stuff, but I'll have, Robert, or I'll send you one, I got it. And everybody has it.
The second, well, I guess question I have is, when we define the project,
Mm-hmm.
to me, the most important project is basically ripping up their village water system, putting in a new one designed by Sunrise with the right valves in all the right places that we can get to easily. You know, that is like, I think, the most immediate. And then if we can pave roads over that, great, but, you know, it's gonna take a little while to just put that in. So I talked to Scott Albrecht with Celeste Malloy, Woody made the introduction. And the 2025 money will come out soon. You have to be ready for it, because it'll go quickly. It'll go through any number of different federal programs. But to me, regardless of what assistance, if any, we get for the project, unless we have already, we need to hire Sunrise and have them design what that, you know, what the project would look like, so that we can get a cost estimate as well, because all of that stuff has to be done.
Excuse me.
Any kind of application.
He's working on that right now, he's going out to the bids from the contractors, he's been working on that for a couple of weeks.
When we say that, what is that? Is that the
Well,
village
he's
water
gonna-
system?
No, this is the roads at this point, the village water system will be a part of it. And I know that you have an urgent need to have it, because you make money up there, and it's been a rotten year. But we're looking at both of them, we're not gonna do one and not the other, and my understanding is that we understand the water's very important. And it's just a little interesting thing, it's funny, Robert Worley and I were talking the other day, he said, the sad thing about the water thing is people think they should always just be able to go to their tap and turn on the water. But we haven't had that luxury here because of the junk that's in the ground from the '70s. And so, yeah, I'm with you, Shane, that's gotta be done. We can't put roads over bad pipe.
That's what I was gonna say, you wouldn't put, I mean, the entire, other than the new stuff, it's all garbage, so you,
Yeah.
paving is wet, we're not ready for paving yet, but I love to hear the $30 million, but to me, it's like, undoubtedly, we need a new water system in the village. I don't even know, I mean, that has nothing to do with me, that's why we have water the last 2 winters in a row. But anyway, so that's just my report.
Yeah.
So it's selectable. And that is highly likely we'll get it. We just have to be ready for it.
Well,
Yeah.
well, there, go ahead.
We're, you know, part of it is getting that estimate, and the other part is getting support letters from police, fire, a couple other entities that says, how is this gonna improve their service to these areas? And I don't think that's gonna be difficult to do.
I think, have we talked to like Susan Lindenby, you know, the economic rural development? We also got, Mr. Henderson, we can talk to the governor, or, you know, Governor Cox. We got somebody, I've got somebody there. They all, that's what their big thing right now is about. Yeah, John Curtis.
Getting support letters from all of those people at a minimum would definitely help
So
support the
you tell me
project.
kind of our talking points of what it is we're looking for?
I mean, I think me personally, I think our first thing is we need to get the water fixed, that's what I would say.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, it has to, because you don't.
And then you go to
Shane
roads,
says you don't
so
want to pave over.
priority 1 should be water, and priority 2 would be roads.
And my question on these roads is, it's all great, Danny, to pave them, but up and down, what part of your maintenance on them gonna be, you know?
A lot easier.
I think
The other road, like, we'd always be digging them up and re-asphalting them.
I think you're gonna do that regardless, but not as much. If the water system's new underneath it, and then you pave it, you really just have your general maintenance. If you are gonna have to cut up pieces of the road every now and then and patch it, that's any paved road for that.
We were talking about this, Brandon and I, we've gotta get the actual drawing and sit down with Sunrise and redline it.
Yeah, there's spots
Because
that
he knows places that,
not be done.
Yeah,
that he
yeah,
has
sure.
found.
Need water?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So the drawing will be out, this is just a rendition of where it's going. The drawing will be out, and then we'll have to redline that, if you know what that means, and then we take it back for approval. And, because we gotta make sure that if we do this one way or another, someday we're gonna do it. But the main thing, Shane, like you said, is we gotta get the damn water thing done, I'm tired of this thing. You know, it's gotta be done.
Yeah, I'm tired of getting phone calls too, so let's get it done.
Just put your wrong phone number on the webpage, I still didn't get any.
I put a request in to Steph to help me fix that, and she's been a little bit busy, so she hasn't
Oh,
got back to me.
good.
So I'm working on getting your number
phone number's going on
fixed.
there.
I think you're right on there.
I've been Steph, don't tell anybody, I've been paying her.
And I guess the one thing that I would ask for is you guys vote at some level
Yeah.
to approve this to start it moving forward, because we've talked about it, that this window isn't a big window that we're shooting at. You know,
Yeah.
there's
So
this
we've already-
opportunity.
So we've already started talking with West Malloy.
We
So
haven't,
we're already
county
done.
has.
Okay.
We don't know.
She's already done with.
But,
The grant, her grant's due like April?
Mid-April is kind of what we think.
yeah.
Do we have $48,000?
Well, you don't need it all at once either.
We've got 4,000.
Well, let's back up here, okay? Let's go back to the community grant first, okay? You go to the community grant, we've gotta get the water system fixed, okay? Granted, now, if they're willing to do that, or you're willing to do that project too and charge us for it, it's a competitive deal, right? But if we do the bigger project with you, then we have a big benefit.
Did you say you don't do state grants, you only do federal grants?
Yes, California, we've written some state grants. It just, you know, it depends on if we feel our expertise lends to the state grant or not.
Yeah, what you do.
Yeah, but we would, so the community project would be, if you pay the $4,000 a month, is free. So that is just, you won't pay any money, you'll pay the $4,000 for the month.
So for $48,000, it's free.
I know, I
Yeah.
I went, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But the flip side of that is, how long does it take to get it,
They're just talking about the one.
you'll land that first grant?
Yeah.
So this will be fiscal year 25 funding, so you'll get it at fiscal year 25. It's slower when they don't approve the budget. So there's been a delays in the federal budget getting passed recently.
No.
So the fiscal year 24 projects still haven't come out and we're in March. So realistically, you're looking at getting the money or kicking off the project, like June 2025.
But how soon would we know if we got it or not?
By June-ish 2024. And again, that depends on how quick the federal government is moving.
Yeah, I
things through the
understand that, but
committee.
we're talking about having to pay that money back from somewhere, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
If it's gonna be all the way to 2025, then see ya. Okay, that helps. I think that, at this juncture, we go ahead and we'll let Robert go ahead and get the estimates on the larger project. And, just what we need to do, we need to decide how we're gonna go.
Is that a good question though? Do we have 48,000 for a 1-year contract?
Yes, we do.
We do? You said that very quietly, you know why? He's our money man. Okay.
One thing I would point out, timing-wise, so Scott said basically we should just let them know when we're ready to talk to the West Malloy team, they're ready to talk to us. And if we have to apply within 6 weeks or so, and we find out by June, I wonder if we just try on our own, with our own relationships that we created, for this first couple months, see what happens. Just a thought.
Yeah,
So you say Sunrise is looking at the water system now?
yeah, I got them looking at the water system, I got them getting an asphalt bid.
But that means we're giving up 2 months of application
Yeah.
time too.
You only have a month.
That's it.
Question, I mean, I'm not opposed to Shane's suggestion, but we would have to have the resources to write it up ourselves, and my question is, do we have the skill and expertise
No, we don't.
to do that ourselves?
No, we don't.
We're saving 48,000.
some odd million. That math doesn't work out in my head.
And what kind of cost,
There's no guarantees, but
That's the thing.
what kind of cost are you looking at on a community project, if it's not free, the smaller one, the water?
We've never written a community project for, like, non-client, so I would have to ask my partners and
Okay.
kind of get back to you
That
if
would
we
be
would.
critical to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it would be some sort of kickoff to see if you liked our service and see if it was, successful for you guys, and then,
Sure.
sort of a test it out, feel the waters type of thing. I could run that by my partners and see, just because the deadline is so tight.
The community project, where does that money come from? Is it supported through a congressperson?
Tax dollars,
The congressperson?
so it's, yeah.
Line item?
Mhm. It'll be a line item in the transportation bill for 2025. It'll say, Elk Meadows Service District, and then the name of the project.
Megan, is that something that you could do, like make a call while we're in session now, talk to your partners and see if that's something that they'd be
Let me
willing to do?
go give them a call.
I mean, we've got other items that we could deal with, and that way we can find out now, as opposed to waiting another 30 days, since
Which we don't
time is
have.
of the essence.
Yeah.
That's,
But
I don't think.
I feel a lot more comfortable, you know, testing the waters here, to help us with this project, because it would be like, a lot more likely to.
She did tell me that Kamala Harris is going to Puerto Rico next week
Oh, boy.
to,
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we,
hand off a grant.
yeah, our Puerto Rico clients, they do a lot of two-generation work, for high-poverty neighborhood. It's in housing development.
Well, that's us.
And so we usually do pretty mission-driven work, so this is kind of a little bit outside of our realm, but I love Rich, and I think this would be important for you guys as a community. So Kamal is going to visit to look at all the work that we've done there. Two-generation pipeline stuff, so getting people into the workforce, wraparound services, childcare, elderly care, so, yeah.
Just wondering also if you could give us your opinion, because our service district is a special type district, and we don't qualify for a lot of the government standards that they have, because almost all of the homes are second homes for people, and so it's not like, you know, there's poverty things are going on, or there's other stuff. We don't qualify under a lot of those criteria, so I'm just wondering honestly.
I think there still is an equity point here, because you want to drive on roads. Dirt is not a road. You know, you want to have equitable access to safe roads in a safe community, no matter if it's your second or third or fourth home. I mean, first home definitely,
That's all I
but.
say is,
Maybe that's not a stumbling block to get in those kind of grants, because don't they have this criteria they go through for your community?
For the rural transportation grant specifically that you guys were interested in, there is an equity part of it, and it's mostly about who you're hiring to do the roads. So what groups you're working with to do the road. Yeah, if you can create jobs for people to come in and do it, so that's like kind of another way to fix the equity lens, is getting people kind of into the workforce to help with the job.
well, if you can.
I'm gonna go make a call.
Okay, that'd be great.
I'll tell you my experience with, so I'm the mayor of the small town of Cushera, I'm 2 mountains over. And, two or three years ago, I put in a grant myself, I wrote it myself, to Chris Stewart to do the roads in my little town. About $3 million, an asphalt project. And it was a very quick thing, I did the best I could, and I had 2 weeks, I submitted it. I didn't get the grant, I didn't have letters of support from the governor or anybody else. And so, in the meantime, the state legislature has funded, through 6 county, probably 5 county, community advisors. And in the 6 county area, which is 6 counties over where I am, they have 4 community advisors hired. And one of them is assigned to my town and like 9 other towns. And he has been helping me write grants, and he's helped me get probably 2 or 3 state I've asked him to put in a grant for Celeste Malloy's community grant for another road ask. And he will just do that for me, and he's paid through 6 counties, through the legislature, to do that grant for me, and I don't know if we'll be successful again, but we're gonna put in a grant for Congressman Malloy to do a $3 million road project, because our roads are just chip sealed, and they're horrible, and some dirt roads and holes everywhere. But that's the way we're doing it, and we may or may not be successful, but anyway, but they have those community advisors.
Who would be our community advisor, do we know?
I know there is somebody at 5 counties.
Brian Theory is
I
over
think-
5 counties,
yeah.
so I can talk to Brian.
Yeah, I can't remember who the grant person was, but they do have somebody at 5 counties. Well, I've totally forgotten about
I
that.
think his
I
name's
don't
Cody
brought that
Christensen.
up.
I think it's Cody Christensen.
So they said that we could do somewhere around 2,500 to 3,000 in the first 6 months. And there's a 30 to 90-day clause, which we decide upon if you guys don't like our services to leave.
Is that per month for 6 months or?
Yeah,
That's for state grants, that's federal.
federal.
That's where federal comes
For the 30 million.
Yeah, for the rural transportation. And then, I don't know if you guys know, I'm not exactly how we'll qualify, but the way that they're running the transportation grants now is you apply for all 3 at once. So you're basically getting 3 opportunities with 1 grant to get funded.
Okay. Pretty complex situation, isn't it?
I don't know what other services you guys would be looking for, or other grants, but some of our other clients are small cities where we work with their fire department and their local police department. We have helped one new fire trucks, which was fun to see. We've also helped get national safety program partnerships with the Department of Justice to kind of help with recruiting for police and just kind of general best practices. So
We've done those projects ourselves with the fire and stuff for the last few years, but we don't have policemen and that kind of stuff up here. But yeah, I understand the scope of your work is a little bit bigger than we realize.
yeah.
Is there any award differences, whether you're a red or a blue?
No. I'm glad that Utah does community projects. That's a lot of the southern Republican states do not do community projects at all. So that's direct funding that they're cutting that could go to their community, because just a little bit of extra effort that they kind of have to go through the committees and stuff. So it's not all red states do community projects.
Megan, in using the work that we've already done there, right, these big projects that we're currently doing right now, how long can you go back and use that as a match?
I don't know if there's a specific deadline or like cutoff date that we can go back to. I think any work that you've done relatively within the past 5 to 7 years could work.
I was just wondering, like, if they decided to do the state thing now and work on the water, and then come back around for the federal money for the roads after they got all their business stuff together. I just was making sure there wasn't a window of opportunity where that was gonna stop. Like, you could use that as a match up until 6 months after the project was completed or something.
Yeah.
That's what I was concerned about. So there's really they could go back and use that as a match at any time then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the grant, I think the rural grant's due in August. So it'll drop sometime in March to April is kind of what it said, and it was due last August. It was due in August last year.
But then the other thing you gotta look at is, the election on the horizon. This would all probably go away if it goes one way.
If it stays like that. If it stays where it's at.
If it stays like that,
More apt to get it.
who knows?
Yeah, we can.
We might run out of ink.
It just
I
depends.
wish they would.
Yeah. Infrastructure is gonna be,
Still.
it's important, yeah. It's still gonna need to be improved. That'll always be one of the larger funding buckets available.
So a big point on election years, to start spending money on transportation.
5 votes, baby. 5 votes.
So where are we at? Do we need to So I heard the 48,000 one-year contract, and the last call you said something about 2,000 or 3,000 for a 3-year. Is that two separate things, or?
So the way that, when I called my boss, she said we could scale the first 6 months between 2,500 to 3,500. And then after the 6 months, it would go back up to that 4,000 range.
2,500 to 3,500?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
So what, 3,000?
I'm hearing 2,500.
Yeah, if you guys could do 2,500, yeah.
I'm sitting on there talking about.
That's less than 4,000 if I'm doing my math right.
Yeah, tell me if I'm wrong, for a 6-month contract.
Mhm.
Let me ask you this, if we pay that, will you work on the community?
We'll start right away on the
On the
community
community
project.
project first, and then we still continue to pay, and then you'll work on the larger project.
We would start working, we could start working on that basically right,
Both.
yeah.
Yeah.
Megan, you also mentioned what did you say, a 60 to 90 opt-out?
Yeah, so what we have in all of our contracts is a 60 to 90-day opt-out period. So if you don't like our services, you don't think it's useful, you can just opt out of the contract as well.
Well, we won't know if it's useful unless we get.
The community project. You'll get to see kind of how we work with our advocacy, how we gather letters of support, how we help you guys to kind of use the relationships you already have to garner support for the project.
I think what we need to do, we need to discuss this, and we need to discuss the other one, at the same time, like post haste.
Is that a closed meeting?
And so,
Yes.
just so I'm clear, this $3,000 or $2,500 is you writing the grant?
Mm-hmm, the community project.
The community project grant, and then is it you doing everything involved with that grant, or you following up on that grant and
Yep.
reporting on that grant is additional fees, right?
No, we help with all of the community projects. So if
You do
we give
everything.
free grant management for the community projects.
So you bring that project on, and that price will include everything. You do all the reporting,
Yep.
you do everything that was involved with
Yeah,
that.
I mean, we'll have meetings with you guys, to kind of, your guys' participation in would be getting us the information we needed and meetings so that we know that we can write to what you guys need.
We get the engineering and the bids and that sort of thing, so you can work with it.
Yeah, essentially that. And we're kind of the people where we call it a data dump, give us everything and anything you have that we can use to help with the project.
The one thing that I did give Megan was a letter that Lori had written for a grant, that I guess something happened between, I won't say something happened between her and George, but I think George didn't realize that he had to match something and it fell on the wayside.
But
But,
they talk about Lori to each other.
yeah, but what she had written up was great, and it helps her as far as, a letter of fire.
Sure. I think that's what we're gonna have to do, though. We can't belabor either one of these. Now we know what the options are with yours, and it's recorded, right?
So I propose we go into a closed meeting to talk about that, and then we can come back out and do a full recording.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah. And good luck with everything.
Yeah.
Let's get the roads fixed.
Oh, yeah, let's get water coming.
And water, I think water maybe is,
Hey, Shane, Rich said better yet, let's get water coming to the tap.
Okay.
And the fire hydrant.
You want to close session, so we can talk
Step
about this, so we
outside,
can come
close
back
the
in.
doors for you.
You guys turn your microphones off?
Yeah, you want me to shut YouTube down?
Don't have anybody not like, on recording device out of here.
Oh, wait, we have to have a second for closed session.
I second it, so we're going to close